Hello friends, I am Nikita. I am a natural instructor and a chess trainer. Welcome to our YouTube channel Chess Kaksha. In today's video, we are going to learn a very important topic, pawn strategy. We all know pawns are considered as the weakest of all chessmen, but it has given some special powers also. Yes, it can transform itself into queen and any other piece except king. Hence, it becomes very important to use your pawn strategically. We will understand with the help of few examples the weakness of double pawns. When pawns are in front of the other, we refer them double pawns. You should usually try to recapture with a piece rather than with a pawn to avoid the weakness of double pawns. In this example, black has not one but two sets of double pawns. White has doubled the white rooks on the c file. On the next move, white rook will capture the black pawn on c6. Black's double pawns are weak because they cannot defend one another, while on the other hand, white has no weakness because it has no double pawns. Sometimes double pawns are good. Let's see how. In this example, the black knight has just captured on the e3 square. White could automatically recapture with the queen to avoid the doubling the white pawns on the e file. A great American chess player, Frank Marshall, reached this position in a game in 1915. Marshall decided that capturing with the pawn had some advantage. After the pawn capture, the new pawn on e3 helps to support the white center by defending the white d4 pawn. Also, white has opened up the f file for the rook. So, this is how our double pawns can be advantageous. Let's see another example. What are pawn islands? Pawns are generally more secure and harder to attack when they are connected because they are able to defend each other. But when the pawns are scattered around the board, they are easier to attack. The fewer the pawn island, the better. In this example, white has two pawn islands. The pawn on A, B and C files form one island, while the white pawns on the F, G and H files form the other island. The black pawns in this position form a total number of 4 pawn islands and is considered much weaker. 3 of pawns have no neighbors. If they are attacked, these pawns need to be defended by knight, bishop, rook or other piece. During the game, try to have fewer pawn islands than your opponent. Let's take another example. What are pawn chains? In this position, the 3 white pawns are forming a chain. 2 of the 3 white pawns are defended, pawn on e5 and d4. The pawn on e5 is defended by the pawn on d4 and the pawn on d4 is defended by the pawn on c3. And you can see the pawn on c3 is completely undefended. The pawn in the chain often becomes the main target of the attack by your opponent. Let's take another example of pawn chain. This is the example of pawn chain. In this position, black will now play the move c7 to c5. If white capture, then what will happen? White both remaining pawns would be weak. White would try similar strategy. How? It can move the white pawn from f2 to f4 and then it can further proceed it to from f4 to f5. So what is the idea behind this? White has the idea of attacking the weak e6 pawn in black's short pawn chain. Let's take another example, a practical example of pawn chain. White is going to attack base of the black's pawn chain. Here, f7 is the base of the black's pawn chain. By moving e5 to e6. If black responds by capturing white e6 pawn, white will respond with queen to g6 to capture the middle pawn in the chain, putting the king in check. So this is how we can use our pawn strategically. I hope you like this video. So please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.